EBS, August 15th, when the world goes silent so the truth can speak. There are periods in history when everything seems to slow down, as if the planet itself is holding its breath, waiting for the exact moment for a major event. These are rare moments, and when they arrive, they don't go unnoticed. Between August 15th and 20th, 2025, many claim we may pass through one of these temporal portals, not a door of stone or wood, but an invisible window in time and consciousness. In this window, according to some sources, the global activation of the EBS, Emergency Broadcast System, may begin. For some, this acronym sounds technical, distant, restricted to communications experts and authorities. But for those who already walk with their eyes focused beyond the apparent, the EBS is more than a protocol. It is the symbolic and practical milestone of a change that can redefine the way we understand life in society. If such an activation occurs, the same announcement could echo across screens, radios, phones, and even digital networks, a request or order for everyone to stay home. Not as a repressive measure, but as an invitation to witness an unprecedented process. For 10 to 12 days, documentaries, messages, and special broadcasts could occupy communication channels around the world. These won't be simple news stories. They will be revelations that for some will confirm long-held suspicions. For others, they will be shocking and even painful. There will be truths that will shatter narratives carefully constructed over decades. The silence that awakens. Imagine the scenario. The streets, normally bustling and noisy, fall silent. The flow of cars slows, stores close their doors, meetings are cancelled, voices are hushed. Inside their homes, families gather not to see a movie or watch the day's news, but to listen to unprecedented broadcasts of intense and transformative content. Every image, every story, every document shown will have the power of a wake-up call. And awakening isn't comfortable. It requires the mind to face what it previously avoided, the heart to feel what was dormant, and the spirit to reposition itself. NESARA Gesara, the promise restored. At the heart of this transformation, a name will once again be in circulation, NESARA. More than a set of economic measures, NESARA is, for many, a spiritual and social symbol. It represents rectification, the act of correcting, of putting back on track what has been misplaced. NESARA Gesara, at its core, proposes the restoration of economic balance, the release of illegitimate debts, the end of abusive taxes, and the return of resources that belong to humanity. But, above all, NESARA Gesara speaks of dignity. It is the recognition that human labor, when honest and dedicated, deserves to be rewarded fairly. It is the reminder that wealth is not an end in itself, but a means to sustain life. The planetary retreat. If the EBS is activated and the world truly enters this period of broadcasts, we won't just be facing an informational quarantine. We will, in practice, be experiencing a planetary retreat. A retreat is different from a lockdown. Lockdown is an imposition. A retreat is a choice, although in this case, the choice may be motivated by global guidance. In a retreat, the purpose is clear: to distance oneself from the noise and listen to what is essential. During these days, every home can become a temple. Every dinner table can become an altar of dialogue, where parents and children, friends and neighbors, reflect on what they are watching. And more importantly, on what they are feeling. 4 keys to going through the window. To live this experience lucidly and profitably, 4 attitudes can be decisive. The first is conscious breathing. Inhale deeply, feel the air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly and completely. This simple act, repeated attentively, reorganizes the mind and calms the emotions. It's like polishing the lens through which we see the world. The second is authentic prayer. Not a lifeless, repeated prayer, but a sincere dialogue with the source, the creator, the universe. Call it what you will. The goal is not to ask for certainties, but to align your intention with the greater good. The third is fasting from negativity. This doesn't just mean avoiding bad news. It means carefully choosing what enters your energy field, suspending empty conversations, debates that generate resentment, and habits that drain your vitality. The fourth key is the decision to serve. Being attentive to what others need, be it a kind word, a respectful silence, a practical gesture of help. Serving without expecting recognition is one of the highest acts we can offer. The proof of identity. This moment will also be an intimate test. When the old world falls silent and familiar structures no longer function as before, Who are you without everything that defined your life? You will discover whether your security lay in your bank balance or in your interpersonal trust. Ire. Whether your peace depended on the noise of everyday life or on inner harmony. Whether your purpose was tied to titles and routines or whether you are free to reinvent yourself. Purification, reconnection, and forgiveness. These days can be used for deep purification. Not as a war against yourself, but as an act of self-love. It's time to identify thoughts that no longer serve you, emotions that imprison you, habits that hold you back. It's also time to reconnect with your higher self, that part of you that knows your purpose, that sees beyond circumstances, and that knows what the next step is, even when everything seems uncertain. And it will inevitably be a time for forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting, nor is it about justifying a mistake. It's about releasing the weight that keeps you trapped in the past. Often, the first forgiveness is for yourself, for the times you ignored your intuition, for wasted opportunities, for choices made on autopilot. The role of frequency. Little is said about this, but the EBS is not just a channel of information. It can carry a vibrational frequency. This frequency, according to some perspectives, could be aligned with the Earth's natural resonances. What does this mean? That the message will not be received just by the ears and eyes, but by the body and consciousness. For some, it may be a moment of sudden clarity, as if old memories are activated. Not memories of a specific life, but memories of the soul, remembrances of the original purpose for being here. Preparing the inner field. To fully receive this frequency, it is essential to prepare the inner field. This means cultivating a serene heart, a clear mind, and a balanced body. It's like preparing the soil before rain. The cleaner and more fertile it is, the more the water penetrates and nourishes. Mark the field. More than marking the date on the calendar, it's time to mark your field. Decide now what your stance will be. Don't wait for the event to arrive to define yourself. Define yourself beforehand. Breathe to remember who you are. Pray to align your will with your greater purpose. Fast to clear what is useless. Serve to embody the change you wish to see. The new era begins within us. If the bell of truth rings, may it find you awake, standing, with a steady gaze and an open heart. May you, as you pass through this window, discover that you are not just a spectator of history, but a living part of it. Because in the end, true renewal doesn't begin on screens, nor in satellites, nor in laws. It begins within. It begins the moment you decide to live according to the truth, even if it requires discomfort. It begins when you choose to serve, even if it is unseen. It begins when you understand that the world only truly changes when change is born in the heart.